Hello everyone, this side Ankita and welcome back to my channel. So today we are gonna learn something about if someone is in cardiac arrest, then what do we have to do in the hospital or in ambulance. Okay, so let's start. So first is if heart is not working. For example, someone got an arrest and heart has stopped working. What is the work of our heart? It has to pump the blood, but once it has stopped, it will not pump any blood. So at that time, what do we have to do? First thing is we have to start with the CPR, that is cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Despite of any of the rhythm in the heart, first thing we have to start with the CPR. All right. Next, there are two chances. Either there can be a shockable rhythm or a non-shockable rhythm. That too we will get to know once we have a defib or we have a AED. All right. So first, in this side we'll consider that we have a shockable rhythm. Okay, and other side non-shockable. Okay, so what is the difference between shockable and non-shockable? In shockable rhythms, we will need to give shock to the patient with the help of defibrillator or the AED. You would have seen in movies also, and if you work in hospital, then you know that defib has two pedals and we have to give shock using them. Okay, so there are two shockable rhythm which require immediate shock. So those are VF and VT, pulseless VT. Okay, VF, VT. These two rhythms are shockable. If you will not give shock into these two rhythms, then your patient will not survive or revive. Okay. So if these are the rhythm, first thing we have started CPR. CPR will be continued. We will charge our defibrillator and we have to deliver shock. Now, how much shock we have to deliver? It depends on the recommendation of the manufacturer. Like different models or defibrillators are there. So it depends on the manufacturer. In some defibs it is 120 to 200, in some it is 150 to 200. So we'll just take a range that we have to give 120 to 200 joules. Okay, so first we are gonna start with, it is recommended. It is not that it is a definite thing that you have to start with 120 only. If your defib is suggesting that recommended dose is 120 to 200, so better to start with the lower dose first. We'll start with 120. We will give 120 joules shock here. All right. Before giving shock, what do we have to do? We have to make sure everyone is clear. No one is touching the patient. Otherwise, the person who is touching the patient, he or she will also get a shock, which we do not want. After giving shock, immediately we have to start with CPR. CPR should not be stopped for more than 10 seconds. 10 is the maximum second. You have to start it as soon as possible. As you give shock, immediately start with CPR. Okay, our CPR will be continued. Fine. Then next, once 2 minutes are over, fine, the person who is giving CPR, he or she is giving CPR for 2 minutes, 2 minutes got over, then we have to change roles. Okay, the person who is giving compression, he or she will be tired, then they have to change roles. First thing. Second, clear the patient. Fine, and then analyze the rhythm, because without analyzing the rhythm we cannot do further treatment. जो यहाँ पे rhythm था, it was there before, now maybe rhythm has changed, so we have to analyze the rhythm and make sure no one is touching the patient when you are analyzing the rhythm, because the touch of someone can interfere with the rhythm. All right, then if rhythm is still same, out of these two any of the rhythm is there, then we have to again start with CPR, because we can give shock, but for charging everything it will take time. So till that time we will start with CPR and then we'll give second shock. Okay, so second shock we can give either 150 or 170 or 200 joules. Fine, so we will give second shock. After that we have to give one medicine, which is epinephrine. Okay, we will administer first dose of epinephrine after second shock. So epinephrine ka dose is 1 mg. for adults. Okay, so 1 mg epinephrine we will give here. For giving epinephrine, we do not need to stop CPR. As soon as you give shock, start with CPR immediately, and then you have to give epinephrine. You will have a team. Definitely there will be few members whom you can order, you can ask them to give medicine or do the specific task. All right. Then after this, when 2 minutes are over, till 2 minutes, this will be continued shock, and one shock we will give here in 2 minutes, then CPR will be continued till 2 minutes. Then after that, in third cycle, again change roles, clear the patient, analyze the rhythm. Okay, once we have done with these 3, we have to see what is the rhythm. Analyzing we are doing, we will see on the monitor what is the rhythm, VF or VT, and we have to check the pulse as well. You can check the pulse. Fine. If rhythm is still same, again we have to start with, this is third cycle. So we have to start with CPR, then we have to shock the patient. Third shock we are giving here. So third shock we gave. After giving shock, we have to give medicine. That will be amiodarone. Fine. So amiodarone you have to give, and dose should be 300 mg bolus followed by flush. You already know in cardiac arrest we have to give flush after every medicine, because there is no pulse in patient and we have to push it so it can reach to the heart as soon as possible, and second thing, it get diluted as well. So we will give amiodarone. Fine. Then CPR will be continued. After giving shock, you have to remember that you have to start CPR as soon as you deliver shock. Then this is done. After that, if same rhythm remains, we will go back here. Fine. And we will continue this thing only. Now suppose after third shock also we have given amiodarone and all of that, still rhythm is same. Then we'll start with CPR again. We will give shock, then we will give epinephrine. But you have to keep one thing in mind: whenever you are giving epinephrine, then you have to keep some distance, some gap between 2 doses. Fine. So it should be 3 to 5 minutes. You cannot give epinephrine within 3 minutes you will give 2 doses. No, you have to wait for 3 minutes, at least 3 minutes. Okay, and maximum 5 minutes. So you have to give epinephrine like you gave in this cycle. Next cycle mein you will not give epinephrine. Then other than that, in next cycle, every alternate cycle you will be giving epinephrine till the resuscitation lasts. Okay, and for amiodarone there are 2 doses, 300 mg, second will be 150 mg. That's it. All right. Okay, so we were done with the shockable rhythm. Now we will come towards non-shockable rhythm. Okay, so non-shockable rhythms are in which we do not need to deliver shock. So we have only 2 rhythms. One is asystole, second is PEA, pulseless electrical activity. So asystole, everyone would have seen, not in real situations, but you would have seen in movies or something. Like movies में ऐसे दिखाते हैं that there is plain line, है ना, on the monitor or patient's monitor, and doctor declares that your patient is no more or he or she is dead. So this is asystole. Generally the activity which is there in the heart, that doesn't last and it becomes this straight line. So that is asystole. PEA. First thing is, it is important to know what is PEA for. Okay, so whenever there is an organized rhythm on the monitor, organized rhythm means it is the sinus rhythm, normal sinus rhythm, P, Q, R, S, T, everything is normal. Fine. And RR interval is regular. Second comes, it is sinus brady or it is sinus tachy, organized rhythm, है ना? But when you check the pulse, pulse is not there. So that is known as PEA. We define it as if there is an electrical activity on the monitor, fine, and it is organized but there is no pulse. So simply an organized rhythm without pulse is known as PEA. So that is very important to know. What is the difference between normal rhythm and PEA? It is just the rhythm of presence of pulse and absence of pulse. Okay. So in this, like there is no pulse, we have to start with CPR, which we will continue. So as this is a non-shockable rhythm, you do not have to give shock. So what do we give here? We have to give epinephrine. Fine. We have started CPR, we will give epinephrine. Epinephrine same 1 mg we have to give here. 1 mg. Fine. So 1 mg we will give. Then after that, what do? We'll continue CPR. And during this time, like you have given epinephrine 1 mg and you have started CPR, now you have time of 2 minutes. During this time, you can discuss the reversible causes 5H and 5Ts with your teammates. Like you can discuss what may be the possible cause of this condition of the patient. Alright, then once 2 minutes are over, 3 things which we have already discussed. What was those? We have to clear the patient, change roles, clear the patient and analyze the rhythm. So these 3 things we have to do whenever 2 minutes are over in cardiac arrest. Okay, so we did it. Rhythm is still same. Suppose it is asystole. So we have to, what do we have to do now? How do we confirm it is asystole only for sure? So we have to follow 0-line protocol. So in that protocol, what do we need to do? We have to check leads. If ECG leads we have connected to the patient and maybe the leads have moved or detached, in that case also monitor may show some rhythm like asystole only. So we have to check leads. Second, we can check pulse manually also. Sometimes maybe our monitor has some fault, it doesn't work and you just went, you saw asystole, you started CPR, patient will get up and he will say, what are you doing? So you have to check pulse manually. Fine. So these things you have to do before saying that it is asystole only. Alright. Okay. So that's all. We have to repeat this only again. We have to, suppose now asystole is there, we'll start with CPR. We will not give epinephrine in this cycle. As we have given epinephrine in last cycle, it will be just 2 minutes or less than that. Fine. So we will give epinephrine after every 3 to 5 minutes. So we will skip this cycle and we will give epinephrine in next cycle. You can just remember, in first cycle we will give epinephrine, second cycle we will not give, third cycle we will give, fourth cycle we will not. So every alternate cycle you will be giving epinephrine and in between you will not give it, because overdose is also not good for the patient. You may revive the patient for a while, but for long time patient will go. Fine. So you do not have to give epinephrine like you have in stock and you will be like give. No, wait for the order of your team leader, because he or she will be instructing you for giving epinephrine after every 3 to 5 minutes. और generally हम बीच का एक ये निकाल सकते हैं कि we can give epinephrine after every 4 minutes. Okay, like we give epinephrine here. First time तो we have given, जैसे ही हमारे पास CPR start हुआ, we give epinephrine. Then we can wait for 4 minutes, then next 4 minutes, next 4 minutes. Every 4 minutes you can give an epinephrine. Alright, so that was all about today's topic. In the next video, we will be discussing about if someone has bradycardia, which is if heart rate is less than 50, we can say. So in that case, what we have to do and what all rhythm come under bradycardia criteria. Okay, it's just not sinus bradycardia. There are many rhythms which are falling under bradycardia. Okay, so we will discuss all of that in next video. So stay tuned for that. Stay happy, stay positive, and do your best.